cognitive dissonance, which I thought was very interesting. I was I did a recording called entitled Freedom, and we're gonna go into freedom again this time. There was a young woman I was speaking with one time, and she was like, "Man, you sound like you sucked the fun right out of a room." And I was like, "Oof." It made me think for a minute. I said, she might have a point. But then I thought about it for a moment. Again, going back to the recording I did previously, if you exercise your freedom to eat pizza twice a week and you do that for so many years, what you're doing is willingly restricting your own movement because of the substances that are in there aren't necessarily in agreement with the human body. And really, pizza, the main ingredient of pizza outside of the bread, is a perversion of something that's really meant for a calf. Yeah. A lot of us don't look at things that way, which is why we find ourselves in the quagmire that we do, that we're often in. Just because you have the freedom to do something, just because you're used to doing it, or because you've been doing it all your life, does not mean it's the best for you to do. I'll put it that way. So, again, freedom. We're in America. They say, home of the free, land of the brave, however that's put together. However, you look around you, depending on where you are, most of us who are in the city, we're surrounded by McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, Friendlies, and we're free to go to these places pretty much as we like, as long as we have the finances to purchase what they have available to us. However, does any of what's in these places available to us serve us to a positive end? It may satisfy the hunger for the moment, but really what we're doing is feeding parasites. Yes, sir. And they're controlling our, what do you call that? They're controlling our hunger pains and causing us to crave these things and go after them over and over and over again. So we feed the parasites. The parasites live on us and consistently break us down until we meet our end. But this is freedom. Quite a bit of us have been taught this way and brought up on this kind of thing. The doctors tell you, make sure you eat your vegetables. Or they say, oh, you may want to cut down. They don't tell you to stop. They say cut down or cut back on most of the time. So they can keep getting money from you, robbing you till you go to your grave. And we have the schooling system. Everyone is trained to think that they need to go to school, graduate from high school, then they get their diploma, then they go to college for so many years, and then you become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is that you desire to be, based in that block of space that they've created for you. But you don't know that the schooling system was put in place by the banking system. Read I think it's the creature from Jekyll Island. Look it up. I'm not making this up. But you, your grandfather, his grandfather, however far it goes back, are trained to think that you need to go up and go get a job, which they say the abbreviation for that, or it's an abbreviation for just over broke. And this is what you think you're supposed to do. And then you retire. I just saw something a few days ago. It said to retire is to die. And that's what you sit around. Your body needs to move. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say that there's anything wrong with retiring, but the general idea that it has around is you don't have to work anymore. Well, if you sit down in that rocking chair, you're going to go away from here a lot quicker, if that's what you do. If you aspire to stop moving and stop working, work is necessary. A justifiable work for yourself, work that cause you to sustain your livelihood and your vitality. So then, after you've reached a certain level of accomplishment, so to say, you aspire to get, or as you're reaching for it, you aspire to get a house, a car, that house with the white picket fence and a dog. You know that American dream? This is the thing that has been implemented, impressed upon your brain since you were a child. And how successful are we in doing that? People getting cancer, heart disease, gout, because we're eating the standard American diet, because we aspire to live the American dream. How many of us actually stop to think, man, is this really what I want to do? Is this what I was created, made, or put here for? Is this what God would have me do? Or am I just a participant, just straggling along in modern day Babylon? That's right. Something to think about. Got all these young brothers running around and some older ones too. There's one brother who's running around, if I'm not mistaken, attempting to shoot someone on Instagram Live. That's what they say, no F's given. we don't do that on this channel. He said no F's given. He's just running around just. But it's not necessarily his fault. It started with NWA, but we think it's our culture. Every time somebody's rapping, somehow rap music, there was a cultural expression in the beginning, so to say, to give someone some form of a creative outlet or a release, has become closely tied to gangs and gang violence. That's not a coincidence. That was a plan. Somebody put that in place to make sure that you fell in line with it. Just like those Nike sneakers that you wear. You don't just like Nikes that much. That's something that was impressed upon you. You don't have to take my word for it. You really don't. COVID at its peak. Fear-mongering. I was told whether it's true or not really doesn't change the point of what's being expressed here. I was told that they fill trucks with mannequins to make it look like far more people passed from COVID than actually did. And they kept talking about how many people died from COVID and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. And there's a few people that were speaking of, okay, where are all these people that they said died? Do any of you know them? I'm not saying that no one does. But based on the overarching amount, so to say, of people that they were saying passed, the people that actually knew these people were almost non-existent. It didn't add up. However, backing up a little bit, the young brothers running around acting crazy. It started with NWA. They got everybody together. There's a documentary on it. They sat them down and said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep our jails filled. We're going to keep those people controlled and in line. You have to take my word for it. We have been trained to do things, pretty much everyone. Not just the specific people in the specific place, everyone. There are different forms and different devices that are used for different people. Just like you have a person that's sick of their job, right? The job they have they don't like, but they get up and go to work. They complain about it all day, which is you're attracting back to you the same energy that you're giving off. So you complain and giving, which attracts from the universe more things for you to complain about. Then you go home and you sit and watch the crazy news that they put out there for you to watch. Somebody threw a baby out the window. Someone got hit by a train. Somebody beat up an old woman. And you say things are just getting terrible and think there's nothing you can do about it. So you just you change the channel, and then you watch murder mysteries for the next 2 or 3 hours and go to bed. And then you get up the next day and do the same thing. And when the weekend comes, you think you need a little release, so you should reward yourself. So what you do is you go out to a bar and poison yourself, and that's your reward. Messing up your kidneys, damaging your eyesight, put yourself in a state where if something takes place that is adverse to you, you're not able to respond to it properly, or as good as you would had you not done that in the first place. I used to work at ShopRite. And it might seem like I'm jumping around here, but I'm really not. You gotta focus on the principle because I'm talking about how we've been trained to think. That cognitive dissonance thing again. And one morning I got up to go to work and I said, you know what, I'm a little tired this morning. There was a McDonald's right in front of the store. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go get me a coffee. So I popped myself on in there. Yeah, give me dust and done dust so. Got me a coffee. So, this is good. Enjoyed it. Went to work. Next day rolled around. What'd I do? Run back up in there and get another coffee. And I enjoyed it. Third day rolled around. I said, hold up, man. I want another coffee. And because I don't know whether it's just me wanting it or I've developed some sort of addiction to it, I'm not going to get it anymore. And from that day forward, I no longer partook in coffee that way anymore. I'm not saying I'll never drink coffee again or I haven't drunk it again, but however, if I do drink it, it's maybe 3 to 5 times a year where it won't do any damage. Or by the time it's able to do damage, it'll be out of my system. The idea. I'm not recommending anyone go get coffee. Something as simple as a lotion has a bunch of chemicals in it, things that are adverse to our health. But we use it because it causes our skin to look good or appear to be healthy on the outside. And when you tell a person or anyone who has enough knowledge, fortitude, and discipline to say, look, I would rather not use the lotion. I'm going to use some oils. You get looked at like you crazy. Can you withstand the peer pressure? It's designed that way for a reason, to keep you in line. Hunger Games wasn't a movie. That's real life. It may not take place as blatantly as they put it in the movie that way, but it's actually real life. I got up and left the theater when I watched it. The first time I went to go watch the movie, I'm like, yeah, this is real. And a whole bunch of other movies that they put out is real. They showing you the truth, but they put a whole bunch of boom and bang around it to get you caught up in the sound effects and deal with your emotions, to give you some type of excitement and a break from what you think is real. But you looking at reality. You might be looking at the situation that you're in. But because we've been trained to be drones and just go along to get along, trying to follow the Joneses, we don't see it. So remember this. The next time you get ready to go out and have some ice cream with your friends, the potential harm that you're doing to yourself as opposed to just enjoying a bowl of ice cream, because it is that serious. I hope some of that made sense.